Salut à tous, bande de petits vampires. On se retrouve pour la suite de nos aventures en Transylvanie. Ah 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 ah. Sur un joli temps de chargement. C'est bon à savoir ça. Que les munitions trop seront placées dans le stock. Ça c'est bon à savoir. Oui, ben on va y arriver. C'est ça. Attends. On va mettre dedans, gna. Il y a des choses, mais bon, allez, on connaît quasiment tout. On pourra la bouffer, mais on va éviter. C'est clair. Tous les trucs qui manquent. Passif, on a monté ça, c'est vrai. Jauge de santé, jauge d'endurance, coche de médicaments, capacité sanguine, morsure insatiable, morsure bestiale, rémunération rapide. Ça c'est cool. C'était où déjà? Non, c'est pas là. Qui est pas là. C'était où déjà? Hop. Ah, c'est ça, c'était là. Lui, on l'a fait. Et le... Pas trouvé. Ouais, là, je le trouve pour la fatigue. Ouais, d'accord. Ça marche. On va aller. À un moment donné, trouver pour améliorer quand même de l'équipement. Allez, hop, on y va. D'accord, on est passé. Ce sera en haut. Oui, on dit que ce sera en haut. Donc faut y aller, je vois en haut. Peut-être. Un oui, peut-être pas un oui. Et je pense que c'est peut-être pas oui. Oh, fais-toi coco. Inconnu au bataillon. Peut-être plus court, ça monter. Qu'est-ce que ça me dit en fait? Je crains. Descendre. Et de les par là éventuellement. Déjà. Pourquoi ça me dit d'aller là? D'accord. Ah, ok. Fatigue, sepsie, fatigue, amnésie. D'accord. Bon, putain, je peux pas me dire un truc. Le pied par exemple. On imagine l'arme peut-être, mais bon. Ouais, mais bon. Ah, il nous manque un petit morceau de poignet. Et on pourra améliorer le pied. Et est-ce qu'on peut améliorer après la massue? 65. Non, c'est la massue 65. 65. 45, ça. Pas top. 5, ça peut taper assez vite. Ça fait aussi mal que le gourdin. Et ça peut aller super rapide. Fait que le gourdin. Il fait aussi mal, c'est pas plus mal. Ah, il a fait super mal. Mais elle est lente. C'est horrible. Ah, c'est vrai. C'est lent. C'est rapide. Sorte des points de... Là, mais ça peut avoir des super améliorations. Les solicides, ouais. Bon. D'accord. Donc peut-être qu'on... D'accord. Donc là, on va boire les médicaments. Et d'accord. Ok, ça marche. Bon, on va essayer de faire l'enquête principale. Alors peut-être ce qu'il faut dans l'enquête principale. Ouais. Du coup. Bon, je vais sortir du coup. Voilà, hop. Maintenant, il faut les ingrédients, d'accord. On les a pas. Ok, je comprends. Et si on va les chercher, on sait pas. Ça là. Et on faut pas oublier, on a la clé. Dans la moire. On explore. Voir un peu ce qu'il y a. J'ai pas des trucs. Et là, première pièce. Ah si. Fiole de verre. Voilà, d'accord. Ça me plaît. Qu'il n'y a rien du tout, lol. Bon, et là, il y a peut-être des trucs dans la pièce. C'est vraiment la bonbon. C'est un nouveau séjour touristique. Lol. On va aller en vacances. Hein? Non, tant pis. Mais il va y avoir des trucs là-dedans. Ah, faut vraiment fouiller à fond. Ah, non, je veux pas ressortir. Connard. Le temps de chargement. On peut juste ouvrir une porte. Non. Allez. Bon bah, demi-tour. Et retemps de chargement. Lol. Bon, ouais, ok. Il y a un triangle dans cette porte, on va éviter d'appuyer dessus. Non, pas porte. Nana. Et rien du tout. Explore, c'est tout. Là, tu peux descendre. Là, il y a quoi? Une porte. Sans temps de chargement, parce que c'est encore dans le même bâtiment. Ok. Tu trouves tout explorer, fouiller, et fouiner. De l'or. Ça, c'est bon. Rien du tout, d'accord, ça marche. Étage, il y a peut-être des trucs, on va voir. D'accord, ça monte encore. Ok, c'est juste étage par étage, c'est plus méthodique. Bon, bah là, il y a un truc.
Balls of Mars, fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
Un petit peu de poudre. Voilà. Il n'y a rien d'autre. Okay. Il faut fouiller, tac, tac, tac. Ok. Boum. Boum. À table.
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza.
Tu sais la clope. Elle est tuée à clope. J'ai pas un petit tué à clope. Bon, des pièces, on va toujours en prendre. Bah là, on va se saucer ici, je pense. On va prendre. Ouais, le truc, on va prendre des balles. Ok, c'est toujours bon à prendre des balles, si jamais.
This key will surely grant me access to the basement.
C'est bon à prendre. Il a saucé, on sait jamais. Nickel, bouteille d'alcool. Petit réconfort, on dit pas non, hein. Dis pas non. Tiens, confort. N'importe. Ah, tu peux trouver.
It's locked, all right.
On va monter. Enfin, j'ai un de finir par le tout en bas après. Non, on peut pas. Oh. Boum. La table, bon appétit, monsieur. Oh, bon. Ah là là. C'est plus ce que c'était, hein. Hop, échantillon de sang. On prend. Toujours se saucer. Parce que la sauce, c'est bon. Ah là, ça dépend quoi comme sauce, mais ça dépend. Mais bon. Ok, non, tout saucer. Et toute la sauce. Ah, c'est quoi ça? Sinon, on verra bien.
These scowls feed from corpses and the husks of animals.
Merde. Miam 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 miam, bon appétit. Boum, niqué, il est mort le petit. Bon, tout ce qui est récolté, on prend. On prend. Faut tout prendre ici. Ou c'est d'où on vient? Je crois que c'est d'où on vient ça. Oui. Bon, on va se faire la première pièce. Et pourquoi pas? Bon, on va voir. Ok, c'est bon. Bah, du coup, on va prendre tout ce qui est là. On va retourner là, on va se péter tout de suite, ça sera fait. Toi pas. Merde. Comment? Miam 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 miam. Attends. Hop, défense. On se bat. Hop. Voilà. On casse tout, on est comme ça. Hop, on va trouver tout un tas de bordel. Du bordel, du bordel, du bordel. Et du bordel. Ok, là, on regarde ce qu'il peut y avoir. Il y a un truc là. Ok, d'accord. Oh, un rapport. Gna 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 gna.
Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report.
Dommage.
I'd better look into
On
this.
va aller voir. Équiper, il y a un truc à équiper, on va aller voir. Ouais. Ou là peut-être. Non, bon. Bon, le coffre, on peut pas l'ouvrir. C'est la vie.
Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs.
Oh putain. Le
Old
mec
and
il est
distinctive
charcuté de
injuries
partout.
of a sailor or a
Pauvre
fisherman.
gars.
Traces of a pinkish foam at the
Et
corner
en
of
plus
the
il
lips.
bave. Oh.
Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps? The chest was originally opened to
Il a
perform
été
the
ouvert et
operation.
recousu.
The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened. A puncture over the left lung, possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful. Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we talked.
Il est pas clean, le docteur. Le docteur pas clean. Docteur méchant. Là, il y a une porte. Qui met nous dans une pièce, a priori. Mène nulle part, on dirait. Yes. Dans un couloir, ok. Pour l'instant, on nous intéresse pas des masses. Le turn et la grande porte. On va l'ouvrir. Le slow movement. Voilà. Ça a l'air d'être le même couloir, j'ai l'impression. Ouais, c'est le même couloir. Ok, ça marche. Quand c'est bon. Ok, bon, il n'y a pas le choix de se défoncer le patio. Bon, défense. Ce truc là. C'est ça, c'est juste pour assommer mon petit gars. Assommer. Plus vite. Ça c'est fait.
These skulls can be so
Donc
ferocious.
normalement un truc qu'on peut améliorer techniquement. Peut-être ça. Tout. Ça fait quoi ça? Hop, c'est soit ça absorption du sang. Soit j'ai ça, sauf que. En fait ça absorbe directement le sang, c'est ça? Certainement. Que lui assomme pour en boire. Et c'est ça, on absorbe du sang lui. Ça c'est trop long, tu sais. Ça me semble pas mal aussi comme un principal. Il est chaud. Dans l'arme gauche. Écoute, scalpel. Le scalpel. Presque. Comme ça, je peux tarder à l'améliorer sur lui. Ouais, presque.
I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting.
Ouais, bah, ouais. Ouais. Ouais, mon petit gars.
Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage.
On est bloqué. La grosse porte qui n'a aucun sens. Bon bah pour monter, ok. Il n'y a rien d'autre ici. On va tout clean ici. Ça peut être. Oui, c'est vrai. Ça me tente bien de prendre plutôt le scalpel. Là, j'ai des balles, mais ça c'est pas grand chose. Moi je suis plus rapide et tout, je observer. Les trucs, c'est pas plus mal. Temps de chargement. Non, c'est pas drôle. C'est vraiment pas drôle du tout. Hop, on va retourner pour avoir du coup la possibilité de craft tout ce qu'il nous faut. Petit hôpital de malheur. Ah, voilà. D'accord. Bon.
Strickland's project could be dangerous. I have a mind to report him to Dr. Aykroyd.
Moi, il y a encore plein de trucs à prendre, je prends. Je peux déjà en craft.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Oh, craft. Attends, il y a un truc à analyser. On va analyser déjà, ce sera pas mal de l'analyser, je pense. Pas plus mal. Petit qu'on a dit. Ah merde, manque un truc. Je peux pas le faire, il manque du tarte. Il me manque de la solution de sodium. Ça c'est de sodium. Du sodium. Je sais pas si je peux tout regarder, je sais pas bien bizarrement. Hop, on est en plein artisanat. Du coup, il nous manque des choses. Solution hypochlorite de sodium. Il manque... ouais, ça, enfin, les traitements, quoi. Là, je trouve ça au bordel. Pas de soucis. Nous, on n'a pas ce qu'il faut. Mais j'ai fouillé le machin, par contre, je l'ai pas trouvé.
I cannot enter.
Et c'est qui là? Ouais, ils sont tous là, d'accord. Mais on va refouiller au cas où, tout dessus. Ouais. Peut-être en achetant certains trucs, on pourra peut-être le faire, ce qu'il faut. Je crois que quand c'était avec des balles ou un truc comme ça, on avait réussi à faire ça. Sauf que je peux pas le savoir qu'il y a traitement pour la fatigue. Je ne peux point. On va essayer d'aller voir le marchand. Peut-être que un des marchands serait peut-être. Tiens toi. possible. L'autre marchand, peut-être qu'il a... Ce n'est faux. C'est ça. On se passer d'aller voir l'autre, le marchand. Qu'est-ce qu'il faut? Ok, toi. C'est le docteur déjà, toi, je sais plus.
Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
Déménage-toi, connard.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more unto the breach.
Nurse Brannigan is worried about you, Doctor.
She should not have told you that. I will have a word with her.
You don't have to blame her for her honesty.
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's opinion is the only one I may listen to.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Je vais dénoncer puissance 10. Médecin.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to see you again.
Si je dis chaud en plus, non. Non. Ok. Faisons
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of
Qu'est-ce
course.
que t'as avant mon coco?
It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
Déjà moi, qu'est-ce que j'ai à vendre? On s'en fout. Là-dedans, je touche à rien du tout. Là-dedans, ouais, ok. C'est quoi? On va noter ça. Ok, on va noter plus tard. Pierre noire. Ah, c'est ça, j'ai besoin. Maximum qu'on peut acheter. Ah, on va acheter le stock. 30. 70. Ça j'en ai beaucoup. Hop, un celui-là. Donc. Et un celui-là. Ok. C'est tout.
It's locked, all right.
Nya. Chi. Donc on peut aller crafter ce qu'il nous faut. Autant je vais le dénoncer, l'autre connard.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
I have managed to improve the mixture by diluting it. Have you ever heard of Sir Joseph Francis Olive, or the placebo effect?
No, I don't think so. Why?
A placebo is a substance
Placebo.
or procedure that has no actual physical effect.
You made a placebo of my project. Why?
Research has established that a placebo, as long as the subject believes in the effect, can provoke a positive physiological reaction.
Really? That's fascinating. And you want me to, what, administer the placebo and see what occurs?
Something like that, yes.
Well, I'm a bit surprised, but I trust you, Dr. Reed.
Psychologie.
Please take the key to my cabinet and put this placebo there for future use.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
pas le dénoncer, salope. Tant pis. Après, s'en fout, il fait du craft. Avant toute chose. Mon truc de crafter. Il est perdu dans son propre bureau. Ah tiens. Contre la fatigue. Et là, pour faire un check, je le fais. Ah, je peux pas. Je peux en refaire. Pour la fatigue. Je peux en faire ça, je peux en faire un. C'est super pratique, j'ai envie de dire. Et ça parce que c'est pas possible aussi. Ok. Mais avant, de toute façon, je vais pas me priver. Par la même occasion que j'ai pu m'infiltrer là, je fouille. Fouiller.
At least Strickland can't kill anyone with this formula. It's locked, all right. It's locked.
Bien, mais bon, laissez-moi fouiller chez vous d'abord. Il y a eu des informations. Non, c'est pas là. Hihihihi. Attends, on peut tout relire. Ça me donne des informations de tout lire comme ça. Non, pas là, pas là, pas là, pas là. Voilà. On va tout rien. Avec ça a l'air de donner des infos. Rien, non. Bon, de lire un truc. En tout cas, on commence à mettre des clés, c'est génial.
These men.
N'a pas contracté avec crime espagnol. Intéressant. Si on peut lui parler après.
They're a company of professional vampire hunters.
Oh putain. On va se faire buter. Attends, je crois qu'on en a fait deux de trucs à mal de tête dans le pièce. Plusieurs qui ont mal au crâne. Des gens, enfin, quête et je sais pas. Qui a mal au crâne déjà? Fatigue, il y a lui, Mortimer Cosby, qui était fatigué, lui il récupère. Et il y avait le docteur qui était fatigué aussi. C'est toi qui es fatigué? Bon bah je te parle.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find anything of value?
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor. When you've finished, you ought to report to Dr. Swansea in his office. He's been looking for you. Seemed pressing.
État de santé du patient. Oui.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with...
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you
T'as un
have my
fardeau,
gratitude
mec.
for that.
Your medical report says you're not affected by the Spanish flu. What do you think of that, Mortimer?
Does it make me happy? Not in the slightest. If it was up to me, I would have left this place long
T'as pas la
ago.
grippe.
I know I don't belong here.
And why do you think you don't belong here?
I know the staff have more important things to do than look after me.
Oh le
Plenty
pire
of patients
dépressif.
here who need their attention.
Putain, dépressif de mon life. Putain.
I have to go now, sir. But don't head...
Patient de la life, attitude. Ouais, il récupère lui.
hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
On va parler à la daronne. Elle, on peut.
Good evening,
les
Doctor.
connes.
How is my son doing?
I've read your son's medical report, Beatrice. It's not the flu or anything
Il va bien.
life-threatening.
Voilà.
What has you so worried?
He was at death's door when he was brought here. I just want him to be better as soon as possible.
He's not out of the woods yet, you know. He might need to stay here longer than expected.
Take care of him then, Dr. Reed. People here only seem to focus on contagious patients. I worry my poor Mortimer will be neglected.
Do you require medical attention as well, Mrs. Goswick?
I have other concerns right now, Doctor. I'm fine, thank you.
Ok, bon bah bye. Hein.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Non, je peux parler. Ah, merci. C'est qui était fatigué autrement? Lui, non, lui c'est... Si, il est fatigué. Non, lui ça va. Ça va. Je sens qu'on connaît pas. Ça va, ça va. Ça va. Le migraine, mais bon, j'ai rien trouvé pour. Bon, tant pis. Faut que j'aille lui voir, lui. Fait docteur Alcott. Et je sais pas où. Yeah. Pas loin. Et bon, d'abord, faut que je trouve docteur Trucmuche. Ou docteur Trucmuche, pas par là, docteur Trucmuche. Non, pas docteur Trucmuche. Non plus. Le docteur Trucmuche. Machin. Machin, t'es pas là, machin. D'autres petits machins, je suppose.
Good evening, Dr. Ackroyd.
If you say so.
Do you need my assistance?
Don't be ridiculous. I'm capable of dealing with this myself. I've just not taken the time to do so.
Then you are lucky that
François.
I have taken the time to do so. Consider it a gesture of solidarity between professionals.
I wish this hospital could have received as much attention from you, Dr. Reed. We do not see you in surgery very often.
Do you think Dr. Strickland has any chance of curing the Spanish flu by himself?
His wish to cure the sick is not driven by pride, but by an idealistic view about our mission. Honestly, I don't know which is worse.
You consider him a good practitioner, yet you will not report his methods.
Strickland may be a rival, but I will not use dirty tricks or regulations to prove him wrong. We are doctors, not politicians.
Je ne suis pas une pute.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Ouais, tout le monde toque en bonne santé. Bon, maintenant on peut aller voir l'autre. Toute balle. Attends, je te parle.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Pepper, are you sure you want to leave this hospital?
To become a nurse was a little girl's dream. But in the end, I don't feel that useful. I want more. I want to make things change.
But you're doing something important here. For all the patients who need your help.
We save lives, sure. Each time we send a cured patient home, it's a relief beyond words. But since the epidemic, I feel so powerless.
What steps are you prepared to take to feel more useful?
I don't know yet. My sister believes that the real fight is in the streets nowadays. Maybe she's right. Maybe this is what I must do.
And what about Milton Hooks? Does he share your point of view?
For Milton, any change means more comfort and more peace. I disagree.
If you feel that saving lives is not useful enough, perhaps it means that you've lost faith.
On the contrary, my faith has never been stronger. Maybe we are all just too proud to face up to the fact that science cannot compete with God.
Do you need medical help yourself, nurse?
I'm fine, really. I just need to sleep.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Mais ça. On peut pas la vieille. Non, c'est bon. On fout. On parlera après. Allez, je viens de voir toi, mec.
Please,
Si je peux
Jonathan,
profiter de fouiller,
come
je vais
in.
fouiller.
Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our
La
microscopes.
la 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 la.
The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea. But my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
I'm a dead man. I was murdered. Now I'm a murderer. Tell me how
C'est pas un
this
cadeau,
is
je
a
te
gift.
l'assure.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
I'm not some doe-eyed student, Edgar. I understand we both have something to gain from this relationship.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit.
Être invisible.
Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
Sérieux. Tu peux pas lui parler toi-même, Doc. Hop, des indices. Bon bah lui on lui montre les indices pour lui, j'ai envie de te dire. Lui je fouille. Mon ami n'est-ce pas? Bah je fouille alors. Une petite lettre, égal, indice. Oh merde, ça c'est un truc vampire, donc là c'est important de le lire. Ah, ça va apparaître. Ah si. Ok, voilà, on est content. C'est un 10 pour qui ce coup-ci? On a vu, putain. On a tous ces indices. Oh. On lui parle du coup, d'accord. Ils ont tous ces indices, lui. Oh, on a tous ces indices aussi, si on en parle. Oh. C'est bon ce que ça donne. Le chef. Ah lui en a rien. Je vais fouiller, nanana. Ok. Si je lui parle. Je lui parle.
Do you need something, Jonathan?
I have just a few questions.
Then ask away. I'm at your service, Doctor.
You mentioned something about a secret society. A brotherhood, if I recall. Could you elaborate?
Allez, on lui fait tous les choix.
I've been a member of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole for several years. We are pledged to monitor and report vampire activity in England as impartial scientific observers.
That explains your nightly wanderings about the docks and the questions you ask.
I feel it wasn't mere coincidence that led us to that part of town. There was something as yet unseen that set those chain of events in motion.
Yet you don't fear me. And still, you know the monster that lurks beneath the civilized surface.
The Brotherhood has studied your kind for centuries. We believe you are as supernatural as a lion is to a gazelle.
Since you seem quite the expert on vampires, what could you tell me about my condition and how it came about?
As men of science, our first step is always to start with what we know. Forget the myths, the hackneyed scrawlings, and the penny dreadfuls. They do not scratch the surface of the truth you now find yourself in.
The sun. The morning following my transformation.
J'aime pas le soleil.
Its rays burned me. There was pain, smoke, and my skin blackened.
You will find there is very little that can kill a vampire, my friend. You have been offered relative immortality. The sun will most certainly hurt you, leaving you weakened and damaged, but it will not destroy you.
Must I take a life to live?
You are a
Fait
vampire.
pour survivre.
You feed, and blood is the sole sustenance that can sustain your immortal frame. And only a living creature contains the nourishment you require.
Faut que je bouffe. Ok. D'accord.
Since I'm the one working for you, what should I know about Pembroke Hospital?
Votre hôpital.
Well, for many years, we have been the only medical facility in this part of town that people can rely on. We support the community here, as well as provide health care.
Where do we stand today?
To be honest, we cope on a day-to-day basis. The first wave of the Spanish flu last summer took us by surprise. We lack many of the basic necessities needed.
Peut-être pour un docteur, je pense.
What do you expect of me?
What we need is hope. You were a soldier. This is a war. This white coat's still a uniform. We fight to help the poor, the sick of the East End, the forgotten.
The man we pursued and slew in the canning factory, William Bishop, I believe, was he a vampire?
He was a Skald, technically speaking. The debate rages as to their classification. Some think them a subspecies of vampire, others something else.
How do Skulls come into existence?
The name means slave. The etymology may indicate that they are a lesser species of vampire. From what I know, vampires tend to despise them.
Just for clarity, what differences are there between
T'es
yourself
intelligent,
and
tu parles et
Skull?
ça peut être tes esclaves.
A skull is easier to eliminate, Jonathan, even if they remain formidable foes for the unprepared. Vampires exist beyond the mortal realm.
We'll see each other again soon, Edgar.
Voilà, ça me plaît, faut que j'aille voir les docteurs pour leur dire ce qu'on a dit. Je sais pas où. Marqué dans le coin, je crois bien. C'est Casburn, le docteur, tiens, toi. Voilà.
Good evening, Dr. Ackroyd.
If you say so.
Have you heard about any blackmail going on in this hospital?
Blackmail? Nonsense.
What do you think of Dr. Tippett's opinion of your promotion, Waverley?
Who cares? How could I ask for a promotion after we let a patient be killed? That would be
Désolé.
disgraceful.
Désolé. Je suis sincèrement désolé, mec.
Do you need my assistance?
Not at all. I'm sure that you are used to gaining people's trust with your impressive skills. Well, it will not be the case with me.
Crève.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Bye. Oh, il est où l'autre con? Il est où le débile? Débile. Débilus.
I'm alright. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Have you heard rumors about blackmail in this hospital?
No?
Ça marche.
Do you need any help?
Thank you, Dr. Reed, but you've done enough already. The rest is up to me now.
Ouais.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Have you heard rumors of blackmail
T'as
going on in
entendu
this
des
hospital?
rumeurs,
Dr.
pétasse?
Reed, are you trying to take advantage of me?
Of course not, Mrs. Goswick. I'm just curious.
Well, go be curious somewhere else, please.
Connasse. Espèce de connasse.
Do you require medical attention as well, Mrs. Goswick?
I have other concerns right now, Doctor. But I'm fine,
Ouais.
thank you.
Ouais.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Ouais. Je l'ai pas. Trop. Ah bah, de toute façon, elle est là, donc on va profiter pour lui parler, petite.
Dr. Reed, may I help you?
Oh putain, la tête.
What can you tell me about the epidemic, Nurse Crane? I've been out of touch since I've come back to England.
Everyday folk don't know how bad it is. The papers certainly won't tell them. Not as long as the war is raging on, anyway.
News on the front
Allez,
stated that the
parle,
Spanish
parle,
flu
allez,
was
cause.
under control, at least in Britain.
It seemed to be for a while, but that was only last summer. It returned with a vengeance just over a month ago.
What can you tell me about our patients here at Pembroke?
This hospital was founded to help the East End poor and needy. But since the war and the quarantine, we've had all manner of folk.
Can you be more specific?
Well, veterans, the elderly, dock workers. We even have a few mental patients. If there's space, we take them.
For how long have you been
Eh,
working
t'es
here,
moche.
Crane?
I first volunteered at the Pembroke in 1911, a few months after Dr. Swansea was appointed.
And before you arrived here?
If you must know, this was my first job.
Well, Dr. Swansea certainly has confidence in your abilities. Are you in charge of the nursing staff?
Not in an official capacity, but the Pembroke doesn't always work above board, so to speak.
What about medical protocols?
Dr. Reed, we don't have the money and resources here at the Pembroke like they do in the West End. We do what we can.
How is the duty roster organized?
Everybody works until they can't. If there's time, they'll eat a meal and shed a silent tear.
Je meurs de fatigue. Mais moi je vous baise.
I'll see you later, Nurse Crane.
Ah là là, on rigole les petits loups. Allez, où l'autre docteur? Il y en a deux. Voilà, on sait qu'ils sont en fond
Good evening,
niveau
Dr.
indice.
Reed.
Have you heard any talk of blackmail going on in the hospital?
If you're running some official inquiry, you had better question the patients. They know more than the staff, especially old Miss Jones.
Ah là 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 là.
Did you know Dr. Ackroyd never reported your experimental research, despite the fact he doesn't agree with it?
Really? I didn't suspect he knew about my work. I must confess I am surprised.
Perhaps he thinks you should realize for yourself the danger of what you're doing.
See how condescending he can be? My God, he can be so irritating.
Ah là 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 là.
Do you need my medical attention, dear colleague?
You don't have to worry about me, Dr. Reed. I am here to assist you, not to be a burden.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
connard. Ça fait en plus de l'XP. Ça c'est pas mal. Toi t'es qui déjà?
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Ok, bon.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Ah, pousse-toi. Tiens, pendant que toi, le chantage, est-ce que t'en as entendu parler? Bien entendre parler du chantage, n'est-ce pas? Hein, docteur Tippet? Il vient du Tippet.
Have you heard of any underhand dealings going on in this hospital?
I have no time for such triviality, my dear colleague. We're here to save lives.
Ah, vraiment sérieux, hein? Vraiment sérieux, le petit.
Nurse Brannigan has been recently accused of neglecting her professional duties. Tell me what you really think about it.
This kind of protest is nothing but elitist bullshit. I trust Nurse Brannigan with my life. She has what it takes to be a great doctor.
Do you really think she could be the next Elizabeth Blackwell?
Believe me, Dr. Reed, a time will come when skill and skill alone will determine who can be a physician and who cannot.
Ouais, il est amoureux.
Corcoran, I want you to tell me about Mr. Conner. How did he die? What happened?
He was my patient. He died because of my mistake.
Ah là là, je l'ai
That's
tué.
the blunt truth.
Who was this person?
I don't know. Some sick man from the docks. Maybe a fisherman. I had no time to talk.
Oh là là, il faut causer dans la
No one claimed a body.
Allez,
What
ça
was
boule
the
de
nature
l'XP, on
of
sait
the
très bien.
mistake?
It was a twofold error. My diagnosis was wrong,
il est pas si
and the
con que
administered
ça,
dosage was
docteur.
too strong.
Why not stop practicing?
Are you mad? I killed that man, I
Je veux
admit it.
mourir
And it
au
won't happen
travail.
again. I have saved so many lives since then.
Ouais, t'aurais crevé au travail, on a compris.
Do you need any medical assistance yourself, Doctor?
Come on, don't be ridiculous, dear colleague.
Je crèverai au travail.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Bye bye. Voilà, cher collègue. Ok. Non, toi, parlez peut-être.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Have you heard of any
Allez,
underhand
t'as
dealings
bien
going on?
entendu quelque chose.
There are a lot of secrets round here. I'm not surprised someone tried to make money from them.
What kind of secrets?
I'm not in the gossip business, Dr. Reed. If you want to know more, you better talk to Harriet Jones. She's the oldest patient here.
Très intéressant, mon petit, mais tu m'en dis beaucoup.
Do you know that Nurse Hawkins
Apprends
is thinking
ça,
of
ta
leaving the
femme va
hospital?
partir.
That's not a surprise. We've talked about it already.
Does it not bother you?
Sometimes I think she may be right. We should run away while we can. Question is, where can we go? Where is it safe?
Do you need any medical help?
I'm fine, Doc.
Yeah.
Physically, at least. But I would give everything to be in a better place right now.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Rien de merde 2. Ok, non. Ouais, bien sûr, il y a le gun là qui a l'air juste ouf. 196 dégâts, ouais, il est ouf. Il est ouf, flingue. Il rechange. Il y a 2 changements ça. En détail. Oula. Purée, ça veut dire rapide. Ouais, bah c'est ça. Je regarde un truc chimique, mon pote. Bordel, putain, truc de dingue. Voilà. Je vais lui parler, je vais voir s'il y en a d'autres à qui je peux causer, qui savent des choses. Tu peux te renseigner un petit peu pour le que je conserve. Des choses. Je vais réussir. Je peux pas les bouffer.
Good evening, Dr. Tibbets.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Ouais, oui, il a dû lui dire déjà. D'accord, bon.
Goodbye, Dr.
Il a
Tibbets.
bougé, d'accord, entre temps. Ok, ça marche. Connard. Ok, là. Pas la nurse débile, je sais pas quoi. Ah putain, si. J'ai parlé à elle. Non, bah... Du coup, si je reviens dans l'espèce de... Là. Merci. Très intéressant tout ça. Intéressant. Qui espionne tellement, mais bon. Mais elle qui vient sur la carte. Je sais pas que... Moins que ce soit peut-être l'autre. Mais bon, je pense pas. D'abord faire l'autre, c'est plus facile. On fait elle. Ouais, un point. Au pire, je peux faire, ça sera fait. D'un côté, ça sera fait.
The flu took
Au
my
pire des
dear
cas,
wife.
ça sera fait.
I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough.
Je vais collect.
Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet lady of mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a the lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
So it seems our Dr. Swansea does indeed have a fascination for creatures of our constitution.
Dr. Swansea is a remarkable man. Dedicated, one might say, obstinate? He spent years compiling our bestiary.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Pardon my boldness, Your Ladyship, but I have questions concerning this condition we share.
As a newborn, your hunger for answers is rivaled only by your thirst for blood. But the questions need wait.
I'm a scientist. My trade is in the deciphering of mysteries, and I need information to feed my mind.
I will gladly answer every question you have, but first, prove yourself capable of resolving my predicament without eating the culprit.
Have any of the patients given you trouble?
These poor souls have so little left to live for. I do my best to ease their pain.
The world would be a better place if it were cared for by women like you.
You make me blush. I am simply a necessary evil.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
Who would be so foolish as to threaten you? A kindred spirit.
Even if it were the case, and I highly doubt it, a vampire would have asked for something more valuable than money. My suspicions lean toward a patient or their family.
What are your expectations? Please be precise.
As the newly appointed surgeon of this hospital, you are in an excellent position to ask innocent questions and deftly learn the identity of my blackmailer.
If we're dealing with an ordinary criminal, surely you've the means to deal with it yourself, if I may.
As immortal tradition doth dictate, all fangs and hypnotic eyes ablaze, the blood would run like a river. That's what I hope to avoid. Violence has a tendency to spiral out of control.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands,
putain, Sean.
I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition.
Intérêt. Alors, on va aller voir les cocos. Oh, on a encore une nouvelle personne. Elle est pas par la liste. Non plus. Naze. Ouais, faire ça. Et ça aussi. On fera un peu de pause. On va y aller. Les deux, faut les voir. Il faut trouver la vieille là. C'est ça. Ouais, faut trouver la vieille. Ok. Bon bah on va trouver la vieille. Où la vieille? La vieille. Non, c'est pas là. Non, c'est pas elle. Donc je te vois plus tard. La vieille infirmière, elle est où la vieille? Non, Non, c'est pas toi. Elle est pas là. Voyons. Ah, c'est chiant quand je fais des persos comme ça. Par contre, c'est super. Je vais mettre un système plus simple. Là, c'est galère. Bon, ça c'est galère. Là, on est tombé dessus, mais c'était vraiment coup de chance. Donc, je crois qu'elle est souvent en extérieur, mais côté l'autre là. Je crois bien. Un truc qui brille. Ouais, c'est cool. Oh ouais, faut que je trouve. Merde, où tout il faut. Nya. C'est pas le tour. On va déjà faire le tour là. Par là. Nya nya nya. Peut-être dans le coin l'autre. Sur le côté flic, pas flic mais vous comprenez. Un boulin stylé. Attention. Donc la vieille. Non, toi t'es le médecin, toi te je vois. Elle est où? Ah ok. Attends, je t'ai pas tout parlé toi, connard.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to see you again. Have you heard of someone blackmailing people in the hospital?
Sir,
but I have no idea what you're talking about.
C'est ça.
Tell me the truth about your appointment as a medic during the war, Rakesh. The regiment administration appointed me by mistake. I had to learn the job on the spot, sir. Very hard, sir, but I rose to the challenge. Do you realize how many soldiers died because of that decision? You should have refused. Yes, sir. I swear I did, sir. But no one listened. I had to do what I could. It is an unbelievable story, Mr. Chidana. It was a time beyond belief, Dr. Reed. But I'm happy not to deal with the wounded. I prefer caring for the dead now. You can't impersonate a doctor. You can't improvise a medical education. People could die at your hands. You're absolutely right, sir. But as a field surgeon, it was more like being a butcher. Do you believe you have really helped these people? My ratings were within the averages of the regiment. I saved lives, Dr. Reed. Does that not say enough about triage and war surgery? Goodbye, Mr. Chidana.
Indice. La vieille fermière, infirmière. Ah, il peut parler. Donc à l'étage, il faut aller à l'étage. Chiant. Toujours en mode. Elle est où? Nom de Dieu. Dieu, sa vestue, elle est où? On a de l'essentiel. Là. On va aller voir, essayer d'aller voir l'étage. C'est stylé. Je vois. Peut-être là, l'étage. Un truc de perte de vue, je sais pas. Là. Je peux aller là. L'infirmière. Je peux. Bien, quelque part. Le parc fictif du mal. Hein? Comme ça. Je peux, ouais. J'ai pu passer cette infirmière. Ce qui est dommage, c'est qu'il n'y a rien pour les mettre sur une carte. Ce qui est un peu plus compliqué. Les trouver. Bon. On la recherchera plus tard. Attends, je te parle.
Hello again, Dr. Reed. I feel better already. Can I go soon?
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton.
Ouais, bah.
We'll talk again later.
Ouais, aïe. Non.
No decency. All liars and thieves. What is this? Who are you?
Je suis médecin, ta gueule.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
Dr. Swansea is quite busy, and I need you to help me get acclimated. I have many questions.
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was there a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
If I didn't know better, Miss Jones, I'd be inclined to say you enjoy this type of idle gossip.
God's honest truth, Doctor. It's just the way it is here. Most of these bitches would let you freeze to death before getting you a blanket.
You seem to know more about the goings-on here than anyone else. Beware, Miss Jones, in case suspicion should fall on you.
That's it. Blame the old and infirm. I see those little bitches' greedy little eyes. Just waiting for me to pop off they are.
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round. The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them.
Ça va nous aider à la trouver, la vieille. Ça, c'est cadeau comme truc. Sincèrement. Ouais. Un cadeau comme machin. Sincèrement. Je crois que je te parle, toi.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you know if any of the hospital staff have
sont
criminal
clean ou pas?
The people who work here all come from very different backgrounds, Doctor. Just like the
Très
patients.
intéressant.
According to the report I read, your unprofessional conduct put a patient in danger, Gwyneth.
That's not true. I know when my patient's life is at risk, and I'm more competent than a lot of doctors that I know. Problem is, I'm a woman.
I don't see what your gender has to do with your abilities, nurse.
Yes, nurse. Because I'll never be a doctor, no matter what my skills. I could make a decision that could save a life, but oh no, that's unbecoming conduct.
Have you heard of Elizabeth Blackwell? She was the first woman listed on the UK Medical Register. Change is slow, but it will come. And you will always have my support.
To have the right to study shouldn't be determined by sex, skin, or wealth. That's all I'm saying.
Tell me what Dr. Tippett... I know his mistake caused a patient's death.
If I had not covered up his error, Dr. Tippett would have been fired from this hospital. I could not let that happen.
You can't allow your emotions to dictate your conduct.
Oh bah là on a tout aussi. Ça c'est nique plus rien. Le nombre de
Concerning patients, Nurse Brannigan.
Look around you, Dr. Reed. Do you really think we can afford to lose a brilliant practitioner like Dr. Tippett's in our situation?
Perhaps you did it with the best intentions, Nurse Brannigan, but you took a great risk. Must I remind you that a man died?
You mean you've never made a mistake? Never covered your tracks? Come on, Doctor. I wasn't born yesterday.
Oui, j'ai fait de la merde, mais bon, c'est pas une raison.
Have you seen a strange man visiting any of the nurses here?
I've never heard of such a thing, Doctor.
I've decided that I won't reveal Dr. Tippett's, shall we say, misdemeanor.
I'm so glad you share my point of view. Dr. Tippett's is a brilliant practitioner. We most definitely need his know-how.
I hope you're right. This is a huge risk we're taking.
Dr. Tippett's must regain his confidence. Please, keep this decision between you and me. He doesn't need to know you found out.
Ah, on a perdu un indice. Ah.
Have you seen a strange man visiting any of the nurses here?
I've never heard of such a thing, Doctor.
Bon, bah, bye.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Ah, terminé. Ok, cool. Ah, l'autre, je pense, c'est par là. Vampyr Street. Dorothy dans la zone de caca. Et tant pis. Allez. Putain, c'est chiant. Faut chercher. Nice. Pipa Hawkins.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Bonsoir, nurse.
Milton cheats patients out of their money at this hospital, Pippa. Are you his accomplice?
Yes, I am.
Is this your definition of being useful? By abusing the sick and poor?
No. It is my definition of getting out of this useless life once and for all.
Pas de problème.
Why do you do it?
Why not? Most of the sick who paid for a bed are already dead, or will be soon. Don't you see the futility of all this?
Je t'emmerde.
How can you be affected by the misery around you, and be so heartless at the same time? Which is the real you, Nurse Hawkins?
I could ask you the same question, Dr. Reed. Are you more real when you lie to a dying patient, or when you grant him useless medication?
Whose idea was it?
What difference does it make? We did it together, and I'm guilty as charged.
Answer my question.
It was my idea first, even though Milton would say it was his, to protect me.
Désolé, ma porte qui s'est ouverte.
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones. Do not pay attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
No matter how you feel about her, Miss Jones deserves our help.
Who says I don't care for her? Hate is what keeps that old crone alive.
She could have been telling the truth about the mysterious man.
That old witch will end up in hell soon enough. Who cares if a nurse finds some happiness where she can?
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Oh, je veux te tuer. Attends, je vais ressortir, j'espère tomber sur Milton. Lui, il faut lui parler, c'est mort. Il a fait le con, il va le payer cher. C'est tout, mort. Au capitalisme. Ça ne strictement rien dire. Milton. Tu es dans la merde. Jusqu'au cou. Ta. Pas là le Milton. Ouais, il est toujours dehors. Ouais, il est là, il fume. Pas bien de fumer, mec.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Tell me why you're extorting money from some of the patients.
If a patient wants a bed, he'll have to pay me a little fee. That's all.
Where did you get the idea for such an immoral scam?
Funny you should ask. The first time it was from a patient who bribed me to get a bed. It's only then I realised I could make a fortune.
Connard.
Admit it. Nurse Hawkins is more than your lover. She's also your partner in crime.
Of course she is. How else could I tell which bed is free? I need to know that.
Have you no shame?
Don't you see the city is crumbling down? Today people are ready to pay to get a hospital bed. Tomorrow we may be fighting for food.
Goodbye, Milton.
Voilà. Ça on a parlé. Dans cet enfoiré. Oh, Dorothy Crane. Sale bête. Ok. Ah bah. Elle est là. Oui, elle est là, Dorothy Crane. trouve, d'accord, j'ai l'autre côté de la grille, mais je fais comment? Je trouve, elle est là. Capté.
Please, sir. I need help bad.
What's going on?
I'm Blight, sir. Newton
Oh,
Blight.
Newton. J'adore ce
I've
nom.
lost my mate. Can't find him anywhere.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed from the Pembroke Hospital. Please, calm down and give me more details.
Oswald and myself were both infantry, sir. We were en route for the hospital, but... well, we had a disagreement. And Oswald ran off towards the canal.
How long have you been searching for him?
I can't go there. Too many rats by the water. Fucking rats.
Des rats, on s'en fout.
Can't stand them since the war, sir. Can't stand them at all.
Don't be ashamed, Mr. Blight. Many soldiers who survived the trenches suffer from musophobia. I'll see what I can do for your friend. What can you tell me about yourself?
I'm Oswald's
Alors, le
best
maximum
friend.
de choses.
We served in the same regiment, sir. Taken care of each other since we came back from the front.
Blabla.
What can you tell me about your friend?
His name is Oswald Thatcher. We survived the war together.
La guerre.
Oswald is nervous and quite fragile since we came back from the war.
This is a dangerous part of town. What are you doing here?
We were looking for the Pembroke Hospital. We both need help. Treatment, I mean. To get some sleep. Just need to feel better, sir.
Where was your friend the last time you saw him?
He went down by the canal.
Bah,
He
il est
didn't
dans
want to
l'eau.
go to the hospital.
Pas chercher, mais il y a
I think he went
14
to the
heures, il est
sewers on
certainement dans
purpose.
l'eau.
So I couldn't go after him.
I have all the information I need for now. If I find anything out about your friend, I'll let you know as soon as I can.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Donc je vais le croquer dès que je peux. D'accord, faut que je fasse le tour. Connard. Ok, c'est pas un photo. La boule de sang, connard. Et c'est mal. La capacité. Ah, il fait mal. Si je pense, c'est un peu rien. Capacité génératrice. Putain, je suis mort. Nia. Capté. Idée, seconde. Connu, c'est de foncer jusqu'à l'infirmière. Ouh, c'est de la merde le scalpel. Attends, je vais gagner du sang. Je sais pas. On va voir. Là, donc de l'autre côté. Miaou. Les autres, on les ignore. C'est le meilleur moyen. Lâche. Moyen. J'ignore complètement les mecs. Et merde. Et... Bref, je veux dire. Je dirais que je peux pas y accéder à cette zone tant que je l'ai pas niqué. Faut que j'aille là clairement. Ok, ça. Active. Appuyez. Élite. Donne-moi du sang, connard. Vie. Hop. Tape. Esquive. Achève, lui il a feu. Ah. Plié. Meurs dans la transe. Hop, on l'a bien niqué. Ça fait mal. Pied activé. La vie. Hop, vie, voir de vie. Putain, tu as tout fait. Dégage. Bouclier activé. Super force. Voilà, tout seul maintenant.
Let's see how he likes a bit of fire. Burn, vermin.
Balle. Quelque chose intéressant. Je veux aller là, moi. En dessous, là, ils sont là.
Don't worry, we're safe.
On va aller là. Ah, je l'ai trouvé.
Don't worry, we're safe.
J'ai trouvé Dorothy. Je peux pas y aller, c'est bizarre. Ah non, je dois pouvoir voir ça. Mais là, je peux pas.
Don't worry, we're safe. No one is here. Relax. Don't worry, we're safe. Don't worry, we're safe.
J'ai trouvé Dorothy. On va y aller. Et rejoindre. Tu peux pas bloquer un chemin pour y aller de toute façon. Le monde d'aller là-bas. Oh attends, les poubelles déjà. Tout un tas de trucs. En août, c'est très intéressant. Chier. Il y a une autre poubelle, là on va prendre vite fait. Des choses, voilà. Peut-être retourner de l'autre côté, je sais pas. C'est vite fait, mais sinon on restera là et on reprend la prochaine fois. Truc qui me... D'accord. Le truc il ne sert à rien. Blank hole.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah. See someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals. Or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
Faut le suivre, obligé. Là on va faire le temps de chargement, puis je vous laisserai là. C'était une sacrée vidéo et du coup ce sera la prochaine fois qu'on suivra le petit monsieur.